Hey everybody, Sean Andrich from Gamers with Jobs here. I'm joined by my good buddy, Mr. Sean Sands,
Hello.
and we are here to play Shadowrun Returns,
I
which is
well,
aptly
we
well,
play. You
we are here
play.
to watch me play Shadowrun Returns, which is aptly named because we haven't seen a Shadowrun game other than that wonderful cross-platform multiplayer shooter we saw a number of years ago.
hmm
This, on the other hand, is an actual RPG game. This was one of the earlier Kickstarter games that's now coming to fruition. So I wanted to show a little bit of video of playing the game and stuff.
Now, how
So
long have
you're
you been playing so far? I mean,
I've been playing. I'm probably about 6 hours into the main
okay.
game. What we're going to play here, this is a section, for those of you who are a little bit spoiler averse, let's say, this particular scene that we're going to play, and they call them scenes, and I'll explain why in a bit. This particular scene takes place, it's kind of a side plot thing. It's not part of the main plot arc, so there's not really any main plot spoilers. This is more of a side quest, you could call it. So just wanted to kind of clear that up. So as you can tell, just looking at the screen here, Shadowrun is really it's really trying to be a pen and paper game on a computer. And more so I've found than even like say Baldur's Gate, for example, because they've taken a lot of the chaff out. You're not going to be looting stuff off of bodies. Uh,
No.
just
Well,
little
that's a
things like
deal
that.
breaker. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us.
All right. See ya. You can't skin anything and get
Ah.
pelts. There's nothing like that. So I'm just gonna hit continue here, and we'll get into the actual game engine. So this is Coyote. So basically, the game is there's two parts to it. There's the plot, the story, the dialogue options, and then there's the tactical combat. Those are the two aspects of it. So in that sense, this is kind of like Baldur's Gate. It's
Mhm.
got you. There's a bit more dialogue here, so
How is the
great.
dialogue? I mean, we're
It's
breezing
really
through it
great.
now.
It is actually quite good. I do enjoy the dialogue. Coyote herself here has a pretty neat backstory, which you'll see as you play
So,
the
so
game.
Coyote is an NPC. This isn't like a character you created.
No, Coyote is an NPC. The only character
Okay.
you create is the one that you like. You don't create
Okay.
your party. Everybody else are NPCs. They have stories. They're plot hooks and all that stuff.
hmm
Uh, So in this case, we're here to rescue her brother, who's addicted to a certain kind of digital drug, let's say. So you can see here, just from from the perspective, it's an isometric game. It's got that similar look to, it's got that sort of Baldur's Gate-esque. We see a lot of Kickstarters doing this now.
hmm
So this is that sort of painterly drawing. It's 3D yet not. It's and the levels tend to be fairly big. So when you look at this, when I looked at screenshots and video of the game, I thought, well, this is going to be like a Baldur's Gate style thing. It's really not. Like Sean, you've played some RPGs at RabbitCon and stuff,
Yeah.
and oftentimes, especially in in a single session RPG game, pen and paper, sitting at a table with actual people, you
hmm
play things out in scenes. It's just like, okay, this scene's end, now we're going to jump to the next scene. So
Sure.
Shadowrun is really like that. So what we're playing here, this is the scene in which you and Coyote and Paco, I think his name is Paco.
hmm
Yeah, it is Paco. You're here to rescue Coyote's brother. That's the scene. That's why we're here. Everything in this map revolves around this scene. So
Now,
once we're done this, it'll then cut to the next scene. So there's no like traversal from here to various areas.
I know we want to get in. We want to beat things up and destroy and kill. What kind of
Sure.
character have you built here for us?
I have made an elf,
Okay.
and
Well, of course you did.
I did, and it's a lady elf, although it's hard to tell in her ninja fatigues there. So real quick, we'll just get through this dialogue, then I'll show you
Okay.
my. Actually, no, maybe I can show you this now real quick, or maybe it won't let me. So this is my elf. Her known etiquettes are corporate. Different etiquettes will just mean you can kind of
Wait,
like
Dora. Very
talk
nice.
lingo. Oh, thank you. I like that
I
name.
like that.
So I can't do karma while I'm in dialogue. So we'll go through dialogue here real quick. So this is a BTL clocker. He's like the doorman we've got to get past, which isn't a big deal because he kind of wants you to get past anyway. BTLs. Oh yeah,
hmm
better than life. These are like chips people implant in their heads, and then they feed in experiences through the chips, so people get addicted to them. So you gotta have experiences like great sex, or like
hmm
murdering somebody, or being on an adventure, stuff like that. So these guys have taken these BTLs and they've broken them in a way that lets them overemphasize everything. So everybody gets addicted. So it's basically like a digital mind drug. So he's kind of talking
Okay.
about how awesome it is. So I'm just going to tell him to let me in. So he's like, yeah, definitely go in there. We'll see you around. We'll see you lots. So here we are inside. So let me show you the character real quick. So
Yeah.
the karma system, this is the RPG part of Shadowrun. So it's got, and this is based on the pen and paper game. I haven't looked at the new Shadowrun release. I think it's either out or it's going to be out really shortly. But I've never played Shadowrun, the pen and paper game,
No, I
or even
haven't
the old,
either.
or even the old Genesis or SNES game either. So this is all fairly new to me, but it's pretty intuitive. You've basically got body. So you see here, I've actually got 14 karma points I can spend. Karma is just experience. You get experience doing stuff. 14 points is quite a bit. So to give you an idea, if I pop down to strength, so my strength is 5. Sometimes there's dialogue options that are only available to me if I have a strength 5 or higher, because it lets me intimidate or something along those lines.
So I'm looking at this, and
Yeah.
it reminds me of actually Mass Effect's leveling system. I mean, maybe Mass Effect stole from Shadowrun, but you would plug essentially a point into a given skill, and
Yeah.
as you got the points, eventually you cross a threshold and get some new talent.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Okay.
actually quite similar to that kind of idea. So you can see here with strength, there's kind of a line running down. So that tells me the limit of all of these sub things like close combat, melee weapons, unarmed. These are all strength tasks. So in order to go past 5, my overall strength needs to be at least 6. So I could spend 6 karma to go up to 6, but I don't really have a lot of strength stuff here right now. I've got thrust, and that's about it. I've mostly focused on. Let's see here is charisma, which is good for that. Quickness, I believe, is for range stuff.
There's a
So
lot of different stuff here.
there really is. Like, this is a full-on RPG in that sense, and they're pretty, like, they dole out karma fast. So your character develops very quickly, and you can pick a class when you make your character, but you're not locked into anything. You can start from scratch too and just say, give me 36 karma points and I'll roll my own. So there's all kinds of different things. So if I up my quickness, by that, now I can get my range combat up to 4, which unlocks the ability to do Overwatch, which if you've played games like Space Hulk, Overwatch is just basically holding an action, and if an enemy comes within your range, you'll shoot them basically. So it can be really useful. I can increase my pistol, which is useful right now because we're about to go into combat. So just to give you a really quick rundown, you've got body, which is basically your resistance to physical attacks, stuff like that. Quickness is all about ranged combat, and then you can go specific guns, and then you can unlock different abilities for those guns. Strength is for all your melee stuff, so you could have like an SMG and a katana. Like Shadowrun is kind of techno magic, steam, like that sort of. It's a huge, big mishmash of sci-fi, magical. You can be a shaman. You can summon things. You could have drones. You can do spell casting. And then there's a whole system, which we're not going to see in this video, in which you could actually, called decking, in which you actually go into cyberspace and have a whole different set of skills just for going in there. So there's a lot going on. Like, they seem very faithful to the Shadowrun universe. I mean, as near as from what little I do know about it. So here's a concerned woman. So this is ostensibly you're here to kick ass and rescue her brother, but there's still story hooks. There's still things going on in the scene. Like when I'm playing Shadowrun, I really have a sense like I could see just sitting at a table and someone telling me this stuff's going on. You see a concerned woman, and you talk to her about various things. You pick your dialogue options. Watching dialogue in these kind of videos is boring as hell. So I'm just going to kind of cut to the chase. So I'm going to actually have a pass card to get in, but her son Jamal does, who's already kind of a tweaker, so he's kind of screwed anyway. So I'm going to head out. So she's a distraught mother. That's a shame.
Do you get a lot of different ways to get through areas or options for dialogue? In other words, is there a way
Definitely.
to talk yourself into a place or fight it out or sneak
Yeah.
around?
And actually, that's usually where the branching stuff comes in quite a bit. It tends to be in dialogue. So here's Charlie.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the doorman.
Okay.
So I could pay him 150 I think they're called Nuyen. It's basically
Okay.
Nuyen.
Makes
So
sense.
I can just pay him, and he'll give me a pass. I could just punch him and we'll fight. I can use I have a strength of 4, so I can try and intimidate him. If I had a charisma of 4, I could tell him, hey, I want to look around inside. I'll pay you on my way out. I'll give you more than you want right now. You know, and he'll take that deal. I've done
What
it.
do I have to get this guy a dental plan? Because that
He's
does
an orc.
not.
He's
Yeah.
total. He's or troll. Maybe,
That's
no, he's a troll.
that's racist. Don't be racist.
Sorry, they all look the same to me. I can't help it. In this case, so I can do that. I'm just going to say never mind to him for a moment. Here's her son, who's pretty tweaked out. This is Jamal. And there's like always little narrative bits. It's, and the language is cool. Like they kind of all characters speak differently. They use just slang that you don't see outside of Shadowrun. So it does really give you kind of a nice vibe. And I mean, if you're looking at the art and the graphics and the look of it all, it is really nice. Like I really dig what they're doing with it.
So like this insult, spikier, that he's throwing at you, that's because you're an elf. That could
That's
look
correct.
different.
He's
All right.
racist.
Yeah. Well,
So he's saying if I want his pass card, I have to take it from him. And he's an asshole, so he's just going to attack me. So I could have intimidated door guy and just walked through and not gotten into this combat. But since Jamal is forcing my hand here, we're going to have to do something about it.
Mhm.
So I do have this sweet sword, it's a machete. So I'll just hit him. So it immediately jumps into turn-based combat. So 2 shots, he's dead. Distraught mother down the hallway is not going to be super pleased about that, but he started it. So I've got, he's Paco here. He's got a gun. Both these characters are pretty. He's also got a bat, which isn't super useful. So with Paco, I can actually choose. I can do an aim shot, spray and pray, which gives me a couple attacks, but with less chance of a critical shot. But I can also hit adjacent characters, or this just lets me fire 2 rounds. It just costs me 2 action points. So,
yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I'm looking at kind of a traditional action point-based combat setup, right?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, okay.
Very much so. This is really, like, if you've played any turn-based game, this is going to be really reminiscent for you. Even XCOM, this is going to be pretty reminiscent.
Yeah, okay.
No. So I've just picked up a notebook. It smells of sweat and alcohol. I'll leave through it.
Just like my diary.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got some stuff. So I can look to see interesting names, better than life, like just different. There's one called Bum Killer. That'd be a really nice one to enjoy. So client names here. So I can actually look, see all these well-to-do connected clientele, people who've come here to get high. Some of them are kind of politically high-powered people. So I'm going to take the notebook because after this mission, I'll have an opportunity to sell this information for a bit of money. So now these guys have come running out. So I'm just going to stick with my machete here and give him the old what for.
So, okay, Grandpa. Good job.
That's what I'm
Good
doing.
for you.
I'm giving him the old with zip zap soup.
So combat, I mean, in general, just kind of thinking about the difficulty of this game. Is it one of those games where you're kind of you tend to be more powerful, or is it really a game where you have to be super careful, or you're gonna get buried and killed pretty quick?
Well, that's it. I've died a couple times. I've had NPCs die a couple times, and you do have an option to. Sorry, I'll just explain this real quick. So
Yes.
you have this number here on the character. That's your action point. So everybody on my team here has 2 each. So that's like moving or shooting twice or moving twice. Really straightforward. I got to spend an action point down here at the bottom of the screen just to reload. To get my gun reloaded because I'm spending more ammo every time I shoot because I'm firing 2 bullets. So in this case, my line of sight is blocked. So I'm going to have to move in order to get line of sight, which means I won't be able to shoot. So I'm just going to go and hide behind.
Oh, and it looks like there's cover too.
There is cover,
Okay.
half cover. You can see the little shield indicates how much cover you'll have.
Very
So they
XCOM.
factor that in. As far as I can tell, they hide all the dice rolls and everything, so it seems like there's a system going on in the background. They give you percentage to hit, how much damage you do, but they don't really tell you, you rolled an 18, and that means this. They don't do that stuff.
Do you want that?
I don't need it in this case.
Okay.
The name Shadowrun is streamlined all to hell. It's streamlined in every which way. That's really what it comes down to. There's you can see the bodies disappear after I kill them. There's no looting the bodies. So if somebody's got a gun and I'm like, I could use a shotgun, I can't pick it up. It's gone. So the only time you're going to get loot is kind of like it's something that's built into the level or it's plot based. That's really the only time you're going to get anything.
Okay.
So the only time you're going to get, you do get there's armor, and armor is really just represented by, I don't know if I can see my armor in the screen. I think so. Armor is really just represented by what outfit you're wearing. So there's she's kind of wearing this silly looking ninja thing. She's got a pistol and she's got a machete. This is fairly early in the game. There's also cyber. So I've actually got her left leg has an enhancement that I think increases her quickness. I just can't seem to show you the stat here. And then she's got her gun and stuff. So and then here's my items inventory. That's it. Like that's really all there is. So you can buy new outfits at vendors. You can buy new guns at vendors. But they're not. It's not like there's 4 dozen guns to choose from.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It looks
Yeah.
like it's fairly Spartan.
Yeah, Spartan is definitely a good word. Like I think that I don't mind not looting. Like I don't mind not having to manage all that stuff. Shadowrun really is more about here's cool tactical combat and here's story. Like again, they give you like these descriptions of what the room is like, what it smells like, and it's it's that GM voice, telling you what you're looking at. So they know me from a prior.
But it's not
thing.
voice acted, right?
None at all. None
Okay.
at all. So this is a Kickstarter game. They
Yeah.
the one
And
of the
it's
biggest.
$19.99, I think, right? Full price is $20 for this.
Yeah, full price is $20. So here's kind of the big sticking point, and it makes me feel bad because this is really going to hurt them. I can't, like if I'm like my wife wants me to help with something, I can't save the game right now and exit. If I exit right now, then so they're saying that there's civilians here who are high, but they're all jacked in so that the decker who's controlling their digital drugs basically can make them get aggressive and attack you. So she's saying don't hurt the civilians, and I'm saying all right, I'll try. And Paco here has a concussion grenade. I don't feel right calling him Paco. I don't know why. It seems wrong. So if I want to quit right now, I can't save it. All that'll happen if I quit, it'll say, you sure? You'll lose progress since the last checkpoint. And the last checkpoint is when we loaded into this level. So we'd be starting all the way back in the beginning of it when we
Now,
talked
do
to
some
those
levels
people.
have checkpoints?
Not many that I've seen. Most of them are like this size. They're kind of bite size. It's like, and it is really similar to like, say, if you're playing D&D 4th edition, it's like, dialogue, 2 encounters, and you're out. More or less. Some areas are just about dialogue and investigating a crime scene. Some areas are more combat heavy, or I should say some scenes are. But that typically is the way it runs.
Now,
This
are
was
the
actually-
environments also sort of limited? I mean, do you see this
they're-
warehouse again and again and again and again?
No, not at all. I haven't seen the same warehouse twice yet.
Okay.
So it's been pretty good as far as that goes. So she's got a shotgun. I'm just gonna sprint her up,
Okay.
get her closer to the action. Paco here, I'm gonna move him up. Or oops, actually clicked on.
Yeah,
that
I don't
one.
like
So-
it when you say Paco either. It
I
just-
know. I just I can't think of it. His name's Paco. So it's the future. It's what we're doing.
It's the future.
It's the future. It's what we do. So
Oh.
see, that's not good.
That didn't feel good.
So a 2 stun means she's basically, effectively asleep. So you can see how this game would work great on an iPad, great on a touch device. They clearly, I can't blow her away. She's a chip woman. So this guy's security, so he's fair game. So I'm going to take actually, is this guy security? No, he's a chip head. So I gotta hope I can drop some of these guys quick, because I'm already kind of in trouble here. Oh boy, that's good. Okay. So this chip heads, they're druggies. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily going to hurt a lot, but they are definitely a nuisance. So they do creative stuff with the combat. They do kind of mix in some interesting little tweaks here and there. Like this NPC who just came up. This here is a shaman. So she, I think it's a she, can actually like summon up a spirit to help her out, which hopefully we'll see that in a bit.
Okay.
So here's the decker who's actually controlling the people. So if I can kind of get this guy taken down, then I might be able to get these chip heads taken care of somewhat peacefully. Because they're like they're getting in Paco's face, Sean. I don't like it.
They're just right up. They're the real racists.
So I'm just gonna back him off a little bit, and just to try and do a little. See, I can't 2 AP to throw a grenade, so I can't even do that right now. But I can take a shot at this guy.
Come on, Paco. Make this happen.
I believe in you, Paco.
I need this.
I need it so bad. So we're gonna keep moving her up a bit. She's got a pretty good shot on the this guy here. So damage varies. It's not a lock. Like sometimes you'll do half damage, sometimes you'll do normal, sometimes you'll crit. Like it's
Okay.
it's straightforward enough. Like the systems in here are, although there are lots of systems, it does have a nice flow.
Here
So
we go.
comes so it's like we got shotguns, and now here's like a water spirit. Like this is basically what Shadowrun's all about. Is shotguns and water spirits,
Shotguns
more or
and
less.
waters.
Yeah. Oh, out of ammo again. It's not good, Paco. It's not good.
On.
You have to reload.
Doesn't he plan ahead?
Seriously, Paco. So if I can get her taken care of, that water spirit. Ooh, that looks like a painful gut shot, but still not enough to kill her. So we'll hopefully get her decker sorted out
He's
here.
just typing on a keyboard. What do you?
I know. That's all he's
Just
doing, and
hit
it's
him.
still tough to hit.
He's not even looking at you.
I'm using a little player foreknowledge here because I know there's another NPC around that corner who's also going to want to shoot me. So I'm just trying to keep it on lockdown. Ooh, grenades are
so that
not
looked like it
nice.
hurt.
That was not good. Poor chip heads. Oh, there he is. See, there's a guy in a suit throwing spells. Like, there's nothing more boss than that to me.
Come on, Swaydora. Do not let me
Oh,
down.
this is not good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so the spray. Okay, I'm not in great shape, so I'm going to use my advanced med kit to heal myself up a bit.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to see if we can. Thank God. There's the water sprite. So there's Paco doing his thing.
I always like Paco.
He's been my rock. He really has.
He's the wind beneath your wings.
Still really want to kill this guy so I can get these chip heads. Come on. He's so close. He's got nothing left. He's got nothing. These bloody
Banging
chip head
that
women.
keyboard like a pro.
Well, he's a decker, so he's actually more or less in. I guess they probably don't call it the Matrix, but he's basically in the Matrix doing stuff. I'm assuming. Later in the game, you get to step into the Matrix, and they actually visualize that by it's an isometric level like this, but it kind of looks a bit like Tron. It's kind of abstracted, looks a bit like Frozen Synapse. So I'm just gonna take Swaydora here, and we're gonna put a lot of distance between me and everything else that's going on here. See if Paco can finish this one off. Yeah, Paco.
Nice. Good.
All right, come on.
Feel like you're getting control of the situation.
And a little splash damage for a bonus. That's good.
I was wondering about that.
Now I just got to get this Yakuza mage sorted out, and we're in good shape.
Yakuza mage.
Yeah. So right now the chip heads here, they're just stunned. They will come out of it eventually, but this is enough to just. So I'm going to reload. So this is enough to just kind of get them. Oh, come on, Coyote. Okay, so
now can you kind of switch between weapons to?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Swaydora's had a gun or a sword.
So you can the interface is actually really nice. I like the interface a lot. So like here's Overwatch.
It's very
so
simplistic,
I can say,
but
very simple but streamlined. But but there's enough crunchiness here that it's interesting. I'm making interesting tactical choices. It's not boring. I really actually dig the combat for its simplicity. So this is Overwatch, which I don't want to do right now, so I'm just going to X out of that. You can do fists, and it gives you a damage rundown that you've got there. My machete is 10. Pistol's range, it's got a little less damage, but it's a worthwhile trade-off. But what I'm going to do, let's just go for broke a little bit here.
Come on.
See if I can get into good range and drop this mage here. Swaydora.
Oh.
So disappointing. And Paco's got to reload again. Paco, oh no. Shouldn't have taken that shot. Should have looked at the percentage first.
Yeah. You know what, Paco? You deserve this.
Yeah, not this.
This is on you.
This could be bad. Oh, he's healing himself. That's all right. Ooh, that's not good. All right, let's bring Coyote up. Might as well go behind this chair for a little bit of protection. I love it when an NPC heals themselves, and then you immediately go up and just undo all of their work, like you just in one shot.
Just
That's the best. All right, so I'm gonna get over to the Decker interface here.
okay.
Unfortunately, my decking is 3, which is not 3, so I cannot gently wind down the puppets.
Puppets. Gently
So-
wind down the puppets.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm going to exit the computer for a second.
Mhm.
What I'm going to do... Oh, that's just what I'm supposed to be doing here. So I'm just going to run Paco away from these guys for a second. So I'm going to say... I can't remember if I had enough karma to level up anything else, but I'm going to check in a second. So... They're pretty
Maybe
flexible,
deceiving.
so if
Yeah.
I can... see, 2 karma may not cut it. I don't think it's going to be enough. But if I had enough karma, I can actually go in and say, okay, well, what's my decking actually right now? It's nothing. I have no decking. I am not a decker. So not much I can do about it. If I was close, I could actually add the karma and just do it. Like,
And then
the
you'd
game is
have
really,
that ability. Okay.
Yeah, it's really free flowing. They're not like forcing you to, again, streamline, quick. So we're just going to forcibly end it.
Yeah.
So they all take some damage, but they don't die, so that's good. So I didn't wound them too much. So now we get into the lovely story bit here.
I don't feel bad about it. I feel like they brought that on themselves.
See, so I get karma just for this little bit of the game that's done. All the chip heads are running away, so I'm going to talk to Gino. This is her brother. So
Okay.
he's not
looking
in
good.
shape.
No.
He's what they call burnt. So and again, the writing, I dig it. Like it is actually really fun to read, and it's got like really nice story beats and everything else. And again, fairly boring to watch in a video, but you can pause it if you really want to read it. So Paco saying, "Careful, Coyote," and so Gino's kind of wigging out. It's the classic thing. So he just picked up a gun. So I got a couple choices. Drop the gun. I'm like, hey, let's chill out. You gotta get off these chips. Which honestly, in my personal life, I eat way too many potato chips. So I get it.
Pringles.
I feel connected with Gino.
Yeah.
I got a big problem with how
Mainlining those lays. That's
Oh
not
God,
okay.
just crush them up right up the nasal passages.
Oh,
So
God. That just hurts so much in my head to think about. Like, can you imagine that salt just twisting
oh
around
God,
in your
especially
sinus?
Pringles, especially Pringles.
No.
So
I look
I'm
like that too.
So I'm gonna try and talk him down here. He's got his gun. He's like, wasting. What? No. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. See, different dialogue option. I could have talked him out of it. When I did this with my other character, who's a bit further in the game, I managed to talk him down from doing this. In this one, not so much.
That's pretty disappointing. I think that's on you.
Yeah, there's the gunshot. There he goes.
You really let Coyote down. Paco too.
Yeah. So Coyote's been going into these BTL drug dens basically and cleaning them out, looking for her brother. So she's been on a rampage. She's a Shadowrunner, so she can fight and everything else. So now, because her brother's died, she's going to go on a huge swath of violence, basically, to just kill them all. So, and here we are, end scene. So the game now loads. It takes me back to the bar. This is kind of the main hub where you do cyber enhancements, you sell stuff, you can hire different Shadowrunners for different missions you're going to go on. And they give you like a story beat, like, here's kind of a rundown of what's going on right now in the level load. And the game is fairly linear. Like, it just goes from scene to scene to scene. So far, I haven't had options to like, do you want to go here or do you want to go there? It's just been more like on to the next scene. So it's kind of like playing a pen and paper game with a GM who's kind of railroading you.
Now,
the
game does come with a fully featured editor, right?
Correct. A fully featured editor. Not only that, but they've actually included the whole single player game they've put in it here that I'm playing right now. You can actually, you can open this whole thing in the editor and change it however you like. So not only can you build stuff on your own, you can actually, just to learn, you can see what they've done and adjust and alter and tweak it and do all kinds of stuff.
Like, if you wanted to, you could go in and say, you know what? Not Paco, you're Craig. Like,
you know what? In theory, I've got to think that's a thing.
Just waiting for that mod to come out.
Yeah. And I really like this bar. Here's Van
It looks
Gross. He's a dealer, so he's kind of a guy. So hey, look, I've got a list. See, I got the notepad from that guy. So if I talked my way out past that the troll at the door, I think it's a troll, and just talk my way past, I wouldn't have got that notepad, so I wouldn't be able to sell anything to this guy. But since I killed him, I picked up his notepad. Now I can sell it. So I can say here straight from Yuki's Tinskit Lab. He's like, whoa, dangerous. So he's offering me $600, which I can take it. If I had gang etiquette, I could tell him what I think it's worth and get a little bit more. But I don't.
Etiquette?
Yeah, gang etiquette. There's a whole bunch of different etiquettes.
Okay.
There's like 9 of them. So so I got a little bit of money. So you get a little extra dough for like doing side stuff.
Okay.
So big Jessica Watts there, big plot point. I'll skip past her for the moment. So, but this is basically Shadowrun. It's not really. It's not necessarily the game that you picture in your head. This is really this is a GM taking you through a story. You're just going from scene to scene. You're not necessarily just picking missions. You're not walking through town aimlessly talking to different vendors. Like when you go into an area, it's like here's the scene. It's focused. There's a murder and crime scene you need to investigate. There's a potential fight over here, and there's a discussion over there. End scene, now you're back at the bar. You're talking to some NPCs about some stuff, and now you're on to the next scene.
So if you're the kind of person who's just kind of flashing through dialogue so you can get to the next fight or so that you can get the XP you want.
You can do that. For me personally, I've really enjoyed the story. There's a mystery going on. It's got a great opening. It's got really neat plot hooks. I like the characters quite a bit. And when you actually get to the point, so yeah, Coyote here. She doesn't want to talk about what happened to her brother.
I just want to murder everybody.
Just to give you a sense of where things plot-wise, because the branching really seems to be in the plot, and it's not necessarily in the missions. Although I'm not finished the game. Maybe this happens later on. The branching instead is more like things like Coyote here, her motivations, what she's about, how she's gonna, she's looking for work because she's on now she wants vengeance. So I'm saying, yeah, I'll hit you up. If I had managed to talk her brother out of killing himself, she would be like, I feel great. I'm done going on these rampages through all these, BTLs. I keep wanting to say BLTs.
Had enough.
She's like, I'm done rampaging. I'm settling down. But if you need backup, you let me know. So the end result is the same. She can join you on missions, but her motivations and what's going on is different. So everything about Shadowrun really speaks to focus. Like I say, I need to put a crew together. I can pay up front. I'm going to pay a percentage of what I earn. Okay, in that case, I'll pay them up front. Okay, I guess he doesn't like me to speculate. I was wondering about that.
I was too.
So when I talk to him, if I go talk to this NPC down here, then I go through a bunch of dialogue with her. She's important to the main plot. I go talk to him. I get some runners, and I'm on to the next scene. So,
and is that why his dialogue box is yellow then, as opposed to white?
Yeah, it's yellow because there's something plot related to do with him.
Yep.
This guy's white. Mr. Cluey. Is that the same as the punter for the Vikings?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that may be an homage. There might be a few of those.
I wonder if that's actually like his face.
Yep.
Well, not the horns part.
Yeah.
But the teeth are right.
So, exactly. So
I'm fixated on teeth. I don't know why.
So there's just between scene options to build rapport with these guys, get to know NPCs, enjoy these kind of little plot points and stuff. And you can so I'm just going to pop down to the basement real quick, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Because I really just want to give you the flavor for what the game's about. I'm really all about people having the opportunity to do their own thing. So here's my stash. This is where I've actually got different things. So one of the things in the game, if I do happen across something in a level and it's like, say, a medical kit or a grenade or something, it gives me the option. I can either put it in my inventory on my person. If I don't have room, I can send it to my stash, which means it goes back here, which means it's available for missions later on. So they don't even force you to leave anything behind if you can't fit it. It's like Shadowrun it's streamlined, it's focused. They're doing specific things. Sean, I feel like we've seen this a lot with these kind of lower tier games. It's just really focused design, rather than trying to be everything to everybody.
and really considerate of the player experience, and using your time wisely and really getting down to the nitty gritty of what you bought the game for. Like, if you bought Shadowrun, this is probably what you were after. I mean, unless you just kind of came at it from left field. This is you want that kind of role playing experience, and yeah, it looks good. I mean, I'm eager to play. So you're
Yeah.
6 hours in.
Yeah.
Do you still have momentum? Are you still moving
Oh,
forward?
utterly. Yeah, I'm totally
Okay.
sucked in. And a big part of that is because, in fact, my worry as I'm playing it is that it's going to be short.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what I'm worried about. But also the sense I'm getting is like it feels like there's a lot to do yet. But it's like it's so like snappy. It's again, I'm not looting bodies. I'm not spending an hour managing my inventory. I'm not comparing weapons endlessly.
Mm.
Like here for example, this is cyber where I can update. I can get a new cyber arm. Problem is, the more cyber stuff I put on, the harder it is for me to cast spells. And when I do
Okay.
cast spells, it takes them longer to refresh. So you've got to try and balance how much cyber versus how much spell that you do, and it's really kind of depends on what you do, what you've got, like what kind of character you're making, and what you want to do with it. So there's some replayability there as well. This guy over here sells shaman stuff. This guy here sells armor. I'll just show you some of that stuff real quick. So we got different armors you can choose from. Again, you're not picking up armor in the field. At least I haven't so far. But like it's like you got basically just different armors that are going to give you different looks and small bonuses and benefits. This isn't a game. This really is about getting into the scenes, getting into the story, getting into the combat. It's not a loot heavy game.
So is
Um,
it stable? I mean, are you
it's been
crashing? Are you running into
rock solid,
bugs?
utterly rock solid,
Awesome.
polished. It's been great. So yeah, like right now the downsides to me, like my feeling so far is there's a few things. One of the nice benefits, and I've kind of discovered this as I've been playing, I'm like, what is it about Shadowrun that feels so different to modern games to me? And I realized what it is. This plot, the main plot, it's a mystery. And while you're picking up clues, the game doesn't like do that thing where you get a clue or you read something or somebody says something, and then there's an NPC with you or somebody's like reiterating what you've seen or what's going on. There's a
Okay.
voice in your head's like, oh yeah, we need to go here next, or we got to do this, or oh, this is interesting. Like it's just the game assumes you have a few brain cells and you can kind of figure things out as you go. So it doesn't. If anything, it's because the budget's low. It's like they're forced to not layer a bunch of extra crap. A bunch of niceties necessarily, but what's here is focused. It's polished and it has a really nice flow, and it's fairly straightforward and fairly easy to understand while still being fairly complex as well. Like this is just the cyber stuff. This is all to do. All of these skills you see on this list have
Mhm.
nothing to do with being in meat space and everything to do when you're actually decking into something and doing the whole cyber part. So you can actually be in a mission. You can have two people in meat space like fighting, and you could be cyber like decking into something and fighting in cyberspace at the same time and jumping between
Mhm.
those two. So there's kind of a time limit element to it where you're trying to like you're vulnerable while you're doing it, so you're trying to do it as quick as possible. So there's lots of neat stuff. They seem really really dedicated to the Shadowrun system, and I'm loving it. The only real bummer and the thing that's going to hurt them, it's that save system, man.
Let's save.
Like they're saying, you know what, we're trying to do other things. We don't have the budget. We don't have the time. We can't
I
implement the
get
save
it.
system.
I get it. And to be fair, one of the things I was sitting here thinking is that while if you look at this analytically, you can see where the budget constraints are. You can look at the different things
Yeah.
and just sort of know. But that's if you're doing it that way. If you're specifically thinking about it, you can find it. If I just fired up this game and started looking at it, I wouldn't think that. So
Yeah.
I mean, the presentation's clear, the artwork's clear. It has a definitive sort of style and aesthetic to it, and it has. I mean, it really seems to have said, here are the 5 things we want to be really good at, and we want to make sure we deliver these 5 things, and we'll sacrifice the next 10 things to some degree to get to these 5 things. But it feels
Th-
like if you pick those things out, they're hitting on those at a very high level.
they are. This feels like professional work. Again, it's $20, so it's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily cheap, but the content here, what's here is quite good. So the question to my mind right now is how long is it going to be ultimately?
Yeah.
And what's the mod community going to be like? Because full-on mod SDK, so people are going to be able to make their own missions, their own maps, and because the game is scene-based, because it is really about creating like story beats and scenes and like keeping it tight and focused, I think that
there's a lot of possibility there.
There's a ton of possibility there, like to the point where I'm like, maybe I could dick around with it. I haven't messed with the mod tools yet, so I don't know how complicated it is, but one of the things that bummed me out about, like I fired up Neverwinter Nights 2 a couple months ago. You just spend so much time running around and clicking on NPCs that have nothing to say to you. Yeah. And like these guys, there's NPCs, they're hanging out. I can't talk to anybody unless they have something to say. It won't necessarily be something majorly plot intensive, but the game pops it out. It's the same with like item hunts. Like when you're in an area and there's something to pick up, it's like, hey, there's something to pick up here.
Yeah.
You're not just opening barrels and there's nothing there. Like it's all about delivering story and tactical combat. It's very laser focused on that. So if that's what you're in the mood for, I would say Shadowrun Returns is something you're going to want to definitely check out. If you were hoping for a more sprawling Baldur's Gate, with the big epic story and loot systems,
you need a time machine.
And save anywhere. A time machine might be a great investment.
Time machine is what you got to get.
Yeah, because I'm playing this. It's not like the potential isn't here. In fact, I won't be shocked if save support is hacked in quickly, because this is running on Unity, so it's not like this is some weird engine. But for now, this is it. So this is Shadowrun Returns. As you can see, here's the entrance to the bar. I ain't getting out, not until I cut to the next scene. So you got to stay. That GM is like, it's raining hard outside. You can't go out there right now. There is a lady in a red dress who seems very interested in talking to you. Like I played pen and paper games with these guys. That's what Shadowrun Returns is. It's a GM who wants to keep you on task. And I dig it, and I like it. So
I'm all over this.
Yep. So there you go. That is out as of today when this goes up. So it's $20. I highly encourage you to check it out. I believe the other nice thing about it works on both Mac and PC. Oh. And Steam Cloud support, so the saves will carry over.
Yeah, and here's hoping at some point we see it into the what do you call it? This where you, damn it, the Steam thing where you can upload your
Steam Workshop.
Yes, thank God. My God.
It might. I don't know. Like actually, what I'm going to do here. Let me show you the main menu real quick, and then we'll call this one a day. So let me head out to the main menu. Pretty sure my video capture will just stay with us here while we do that. So here's the menu. So if I click on New Game, I've got Dead Man's Switch, which is the official Harebrained Schemes one. That's what I'm playing. Tells you what it is. I've got user-generated content sample, playground area for testing content. So if you want, there's a Find More Stories option, which I don't think works yet. So if you add more campaigns, they're just going to be here in this list.
And they're literally begging you, like, go find.
Sean Sands, Steam Workshop. Yes. There it is.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see it in the capture,
but there's
Steam Workshop. Look at that. Persistent loot. There's already a mod, a GM resource that displays trigger setup for persistent corpses, loot drops, random loot.
I can't see this yet.
I know you can't see it, but so check out the Steam, check out the workshop. There's already stuff in here.
Yes. Outstanding.
I am delighted. So there you go. That's Shadowrun Returns. I dig it. I think you should check it out. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you next time.